welcome to ThisCornerTV.com, brought to you by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter. I'm Smitty. Now, leading up to the Miguel Cotto-Ricardo Mayorga fight in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand, had the opportunity to sit down and chat with boxing promoter extraordinaire Don King, who had plenty to say about boxing past, present, and future. You know, it was great to be inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame in Florida with you this past June. That was an honor for both of us.
Well, you richly deserve it. You know what I mean? You've been working very hard. You're dedicated and committed. You're a great voice of the people, and it's good to be recognized for what you have done. And so I was honored to be on the same podium with you.
What about co-promoting with Bob Arum? You guys are quite the antithesis of one another. Him, the Harvard guy, you, the street guy. How has this promotion been working with Bob Arum in Top Rank?
It's great. You know, me and Bob, I love Bob. Bob is a great guy. I call him Lonesome Bob. You know what I mean? Because he's always...
Why do you call him Lonesome Bob?
Because he strategizes and not, you know, and he doesn't realize sometimes that the people are the most important. Everything he does or do is for people. Yet he contains and restrains himself. I say, give it up, man. Loosen up. You know what I mean? As today, he illustrated it again, Jing. He goes out and gives us a Harvard strategy. You know, you're not you're not dealing with those people from Harvard. Those are the people you got to be able to intelligence and enlightenment.
Know your audience.
You got to It's what unbelievable, man. You're going to be able to deal with what is real. You know what I mean? On the ordinary circumstances, we expend a lot of energy talking, and he's counting the milligrams of talk and of whatever it is or how it is. You know, so he got it all. He's all mapped out. It's over.
I know you've had conversations with Floyd Mayweather Jr. We here in Las Vegas, I've gotten to know Floyd quite well, and I keep telling him at the end of the day, nobody's going to think about the money you take to the grave. They're going to think about your legacy. What have you told him about the importance of a fight with Manny Pacquiao?
Floyd, I love Floyd. I think Floyd is the best fighter in the world today. Only thing has happened to him, he's inactive, and Pacquiao is active. So currently, Pacquiao is an active fighter that they will make the best of the day. But whenever they do meet, Floyd Mayweather is going to be victorious. And it's a thing here that what he is doing is playing into Bob Arum and Pacquiao's hand, because Bob Arum can fight the retreads and the guys that Floyd has already beaten, because Floyd ain't there to stand up for himself. And whoever's advising him, they're not advising him properly, because you can do anything with public opinion. You can do nothing without it. He's got to be able to get back in there into the center of the ring and at least explain what he's doing and rally his people to come behind him and his fans, because he gives them nothing to fight for. He gives them nothing to fight with. You know what I mean? And so I tell him we got to talk. Now, we had last night. He's here. You know what I mean? So we're gonna try to meet and keep on talking. But, you know, all I want to do is to get back active again. And I like his ability to take the consequences of his actions. You know, he's the one that's to be the big loser, no one else. But the idea of it is he's not whining and crying. He's just steady, staying in still. But I think it could be handled a different way. Still, he could maintain his dignity, his pride, his stature, and his esteem. But he got to get with the people, give the people something to fight with for him.
You know, yesterday was a big day. As we do this interview, it's March 9th. Yesterday was March 8th, 40-year anniversary of the greatest fight I ever saw. I was a little boy, but I happened to be with Muhammad Ali, going to 2 weeks before that fight at the Fifth Street Gym in Miami. The 40th anniversary of March 8th, 1971, their first battle, which has to bring back a lot of memories, because that's when you were starting to embark as a promoter in the fight game.
Well, you know, Muhammad Ali, I coined the phrase, every head must bow, every knee must bend, every tongue must confess, thou art the greatest of all times, Muhammad Ali. Here's a man that in the 4 years that he was absent from the ring, nobody knows how good he could be, because he was at the top of his game then. But he made a stand, and he stood with the stand. It was nonviolence, and he stood there to take the consequences of his action, just what we were speaking about earlier. You know what I mean? And the Supreme Court of the United States vindicated him and turned everything around, but in the process, he still lost 4 years, 4 prime years of his career. After losing 4 years, he came out and did this phenomenal thing, beating Georgia, doing all the things that he did do. Ain't no telling how great we could have. I don't think we could find the words to describe or depict how really phenomenal he was, and yet he was a fighter of the people, a guy who was cognizant of all times of the people that he represented, black and white alike. And he's just a tremendous fighter, a tremendous boxer, a great human being, and a guy who cares about people. And that's why I love Muhammad Ali.
What's right now, where do you see the state of boxing in the United States? It seems to be doing great abroad, but right here we have some difficulties. We have made some pretty big fights last year, and going into this year we got this big one with Cotto and Mayorga on Saturday night. But right now, the biggest problem in the sport, in your opinion?
You don't have no heroes. You don't have no heroes, and you don't have the network television as you used to have with ABC, Wide World of Sports, and CBS Sports and NBC Sports that would be able to develop young fighters coming up that the fans around America could relate and identify with the hero of their community, and they see him on national TV and they would see him watch, and then you would get pay-per-view when they get to be well-known and exceptionally good. Now it's got to be pay-per-view. It's the only way you can see them. That's a reversal. The people are paying literally for people that they don't know. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to relate and identify. You got to quantify, and touch the pulse of the people. The people are the most important. The attraction brings them together. That's the catalyst. And so, but if you know this attraction, then you respond in kind. And so I think that we need heroes. That's all. Boxing is still the greatest. It's the only global sport we have other than soccer. The rest of them, they got not football, not American football, not soccer, and boxing are universal. I mean, so this is something we need to do, is to find heroes, but we got to emulate and imitate the victory and the heroes of yesteryear so that the new ones can come up and be a part of what the ever-growing need for great sports athletes to bring people together.
And what motivates Don King these days?
The people. I am a citizen of the world. I love the people, every race, color, creed, and religion. And I understand that what is really, truly one of my crowning achievements is a recognition of my own inadequacy. I know that the sun does not rise and set in me. It's no I, and me. It is we in us. That's why they say we the people. In the most fundamental document of our times, the United States Constitution, we the people. And in that Constitution, the Declaration of Independence and the preamble, all of them carry the word liberty and freedom. Everybody crave for it. We're the only nation in the world where people try to break in rather than to break out. It's indicative of what it is. Even with our problems that we are beleaguered with, this is the greatest nation in the world. God bless America, and God bless the American people. Oh, I'm so happy to be on your program.
Where else can an Irish-Lebanese broadcaster and a guy from Cleveland hang out at the MGM Grand?
An African-American, lay it on me, baby. Black and white alike, working together and we can do it here in this great nation called America. One land, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Not so yet. The words are there. We got to live up to them. And people like this Irishman and this black, we're going to make it happen by working together, demonstrating, illustrating, and being with you, the people, and loving you and understanding you and making things better.